before we go. All right, we're live. We have to stop checking our hair now.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, everybody. We're a little bit late because we're getting our acts together today. But this career lunch break is my friend from LinkedIn, Basia Richard, and she is a stylist. Okay, so she has dressed celebrities, people. So I feel like we have a celebrity amongst us with you here because you have dressed like Selena Gomez and other well-known celebrities and helped them look great on the red carpet. And you've changed, who you work with a little bit now, because on LinkedIn, I know you as someone who works with professional women and helping them show up confidently and professionally and really probably authentically, I think is the word that I think of when I think of your name and what you talk about on LinkedIn and some of the knowledge and advice that you offer. But I would love, just in your own words, maybe like introduce yourself to everybody and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, hi, my name is Basia Richard. I am not celebrity, but thank you for that introduction. Yes, I used to style top celebrities in Hollywood, and I transitioned to working with accomplished professionals, women professionals, and entrepreneurs, and I help them simply dress for success at work. So I absolutely love it because I know how much what I do really change not only their career paths, their confidence, how they show up, how they're being perceived. And then when I changed from celebrities to working with women, it kind of felt like this is actually feel very accomplished, if maybe that's a good word to put it.
Yeah. Jess just put in the comments here that she's excited for this session.
Yay.
She said, fashion has always been a very important part of my personal and professional journey. So maybe that's a good place to actually start, Basia, is just to talk a little bit about how did you decide to make this move away from celebrities into working with women as professionals? And like, what does that look like? I mean, I feel like, I don't know the number of times where I've thought I should reach out to Basia and ask her about my style because I need to do better. And like how do you help women? Where do you start? Like, I imagine, I'm just going to speak for myself. I go in my closet and I say, I don't know what I'm supposed to wear. And I feel like I've hit this point in my professional life where I'm not young anymore and I don't want to be super trendy, but I also, don't want to feel so stuffy and buttoned up like I'm not myself. So how do you show up as yourself, but still look put together?
Well, I like to start first, and that's probably like the number one step. We have to really understand what does this look like for us, because you talked a lot of things like I don't want to be trendy, I don't want to look like stuffy, I need to be somewhere in between. But specifically, you have to really describe what does it look like, because we can talk all day long about what does it, I want to look professional, put together, I want to be perceived this and that way, but we have to be specifically, how does it look like? So when I look at you today, you're wearing like a button-up shirt with stripes. To me, this is really like a Friday casual, really put together. You have a little dainty necklace here. So like you took time to, accessorize, but this outfit speaks to me as a casual but professional, laid back but put together. So in other words, what we want to do is to specifically really kind of describe what does it look like for us. So what kind of colors we love, what kind of patterns we love, what kind of textures we like. Is there simple silhouettes we go for? Is it the button down by you love button up shirts, or is it something that you just bought because? So when I've done this exercise with my closet, what I found out is that I only own button up shirts. And it's because I absolutely love this silhouette. That's the silhouette that actually is more casual, but in the same time, it's polished. And then I have so many different versions of this. And I love the pointy collar. Like, that's just what I love to wear. So it makes it so much easier than to shop. I don't have to think about it. I don't even look at anything else. I love button-up shirts, and I don't care what everybody says. Oh, you wear button-up shirts? Yeah, because I feel amazing in it. It takes me 2 seconds to find something. I just grab it, I pair it with something, I'm good to go. So I think when we understand what does it look like for, and we're gonna acknowledge that and then describe it specifically, what does it look like? Everything else is gonna be a little bit easier. So then, and another thing you said, very important thing is like, what should I wear? So instead of saying, what should I wear? What do I dress for? And that's going to change as well. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah. So when you're saying, what do I dress for? I'm thinking about like, what is the event or what is the
Yes.
engagement that I'm
Yes.
going to? And
Mm-hmm.
so that would then help me figure out a little bit about, how I need to show up. If I need to be a little bit more, maybe strictly, professionally buttoned up,
Mm-hmm.
fancier, those types of things.
Yes, but then also, if you think, what am I dressing for? Immediately, you're going to be thinking, who's going to be there? What is the environment? Is it a conference in a hotel? Is it more a casual meeting in a coffee shop? Like, what is that we are dressing for, right? Then you're going to think, what time is it? So today it's like a Friday lunchtime. So obviously, you don't want to be in some kind of full suit. You're going to be so much more casual, because then you answer the question, what am I dressing for? And then it's so much easier, instead of like, what should I wear? Like that's what is like really confusing.
Okay. So I selfishly jumped right into this because I'm just like, okay, there's all these questions that I have. One of the other
Okay.
things, okay, I'm just going to jump around like probably very much like a client would talk to you.
Okay.
So one of the things I see all over the internet is all these people with these color swatches by their necks where they're learning what their season and their colors are,
Oh yeah.
right? Because you're not wearing the right colors. And so you don't look good in
Mhm.
your clothes because you're not wearing the right colors. But then like maybe you like colors and those aren't your colors that look good. What does someone do about this? Like, what is this color thing? Is
Oh
this
my,
a scam? Should we be worried about this?
no, we should be worried about this. No, it's not a scam, but this is sort of like, you find your colors and then what?
Yeah.
That's always my neck. And then what? Okay, you have the colors, and then what? You're gonna take the whole closet and throw it away because the color that somebody told you is 2 shades darker? Like, it makes absolutely zero sense. And then I like the color analysis from one perspective, that we eliminate what doesn't look good on us. And I'm telling you, from all the women I work with, probably 90% of them have amazing intuition to always grab the right colors for them. So they will always go for those shades that actually work. Like, I'm looking at your color now. Looks for me fine.
Okay.
So this is more, it's not like the color analysis, it does help us to kind of understand what shades look good, but that's not going to immediately help us suddenly show up in a specific and different way if we still don't know what our style is, what we like to wear, what the silhouettes look good on us, what's missing from our closet, how to build an outfit. So all those different things that are so much more important, rather than knowing exactly which specific shade of pink we should be wearing.
Right.
And in the end of the day, I have a client who looks amazing in like cool jewel tones, and her favorite color is pink blush. And I'm like, do you understand that this is like terrible color on you? She's like, I know, I don't care. I'm just gonna still wear it. That's good for me.
I mean, there has to be something to that too, though. Like, if you have a color that you love, that makes you feel happy, or like whatever it is that you're drawn to this color, I would think there's still value in probably wearing that because of how you feel.
Yes, absolutely.
And we feel, when we feel happy, or we feel like it's a, pattern or color that makes us think like, oh yeah, like I'm really in a great mindset today. Like, you show up that way, regardless of where it falls on your.
I can guarantee you, when you go and shop, you will not pick clothes in a color that does not look good on you. Into your intuition, you see, like, I would never be caught dead in bright colors because I look absolutely terrible in those colors. And so we can see what looks good on us, what doesn't look good on us. Is it that specific shade of that blue, orange, or whatever, yellow? Sometimes it's not, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be shopping suddenly with this, the color frames around the store and matching it, because that's going completely in different direction. So that's being very unhealthy as well. We have to kind of stay in this, like, how do I call it? Like a sane way. So
Yeah.
you don't go crazy. This is completely wrong color, but on another side, you're wearing something that's just not going to be the best on you. I mean, I just look at this from a healthier perspective.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned something else, and I'm going to
Mhm.
add for folks who are listening, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments. We will ask your questions live here on the conversation. And I think this is a great way to just get your questions answered as well. But I'm going to keep asking my questions unless somebody else asks theirs. You mentioned about your body shape, and I think this is something that's just been around. Like, I can remember being a teenager going into
Mhm.
my 20s, and it's like, dress for your body type. And then they show you like some pictures of, an apple or a pear, and they're like, which
Uh-huh.
one are you? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess I could see parts of this being me and all of these. And then it's like, it almost gets overwhelming trying to diagnose which body shape are you in the first place. And then what do you do with that? And what do you wear? And does this really look good on you? And versus
Mhm.
I never wear this thing and I'm just uncomfortable in it. And will I become more comfortable, but it looks good? I mean, like, this is my internal dialogue
Mhm.
as I go through this. So walk me through, whether we pretend I'm your client or we talk about some of your other clients, like, what do you do to help somebody calm the heck down about this and actually make some good choices where they
Okay.
go into a store and they're like, oh, I know what I'm doing.
I put some, and let's put it this way. I receive their pictures. I look exactly in their body. I look at their measurements. I ask a couple other questions, and I know what their shape is. So, like, if you wear, let's say, like a yoga outfit, I would probably tell you immediately what your shape is, and what silhouette you should wear, what you shouldn't. A lot of those shapes, clothing that we're going to pick for those shades going to be in some way similar, in some way not. It all depends. We have to look at our body, I always say this, from like more like a science math point of view, because we're going to be looking at different points of our body, looking at proportions and balance. What does it mean? The upper body is 1/3 of the full body, and from the waist down is going to be 2/3. So we basically want to keep that balance. 1/3, 2/3. That's why we're taking a shirt and you're tucking it inside the pants. It's looking so much better because it balances the
Mm,
overall body. If we want to add volume in a certain areas, let's say you have very broader shoulders like I do. Today I dress completely wrong for my body shape, but because I know what my body shape, I can break those rules. And so what I would do is basically wear, let's say, like a pleated skirt, or like pants that have a little bit more volume at the bottom, because that balances that wider shoulder line with narrow hips, and vice versa. So, like, when you're sitting like this, I can't tell you what shape it is.
should I stand up on my chair and
Oh,
spin
sure.
around?
I
Here we
know.
We are not doing that on the internet today.
No, but this takes literally 2 seconds. And
Yeah.
then this is way more important than the color itself,
Okay.
because I found that knowing what silhouettes actually flatter our shape, it gives us so much more, like, the confidence, the way we show up, because we know that what we wear actually fit us so well. It actually really do flatter our shape well, more than colors. So for me, like, finding those the right silhouettes for you, it's key. And then it's easier, because if you know that you should wear open up your neckline, you should wear jeans that, let's say, you have a shorter torso, then you should wear mid-rise, not high-rise. Then it's easier to actually select certain silhouettes, and you're going to be looking more specifically for the ones that are actually going to work specifically for you.
Okay. So we kind of talked about the color thing, and we've decided that that's maybe like a secondary importance. Like it's there, but it's not going to drive us like the silhouette is going to.
Yeah.
Um, so walk me through, like a client comes to you, and like I said, they're me, and they're just like, Basha, I don't know. What do we do? And so you start with them, like, where do you start? And if somebody were trying to do this now, first of all, I would say they probably should. It sounds like there's a lot of value in coming to someone like you who's done this, not too different from me, where when I, talk about job search and resumes and
Mm-hmm.
all of that kind of stuff, it's like I've seen it in volume. And once you start to see something, thousands and
Mm-hmm.
thousands of times, just the equivalent of what you said. If you were wearing a yoga outfit right now, I could look at you and say, oh, you wear this, like this, and you
Yes.
help and you diagnose because this is your area of expertise. Just
Mm-hmm.
like mine is like career and interview. And I have to see
Right.
you interview and I
Mm-hmm.
can say, oh, here's where you need to improve.
Right.
So let's say somebody's at this place and they want to take like the first right step to a better clarity around how to dress.
Mm-hmm.
What's one thing that they could do on their own to start?
I would say you have to translate who you are into visual representation, because fashion and style is extremely visual. It's very visual. When we shop, it's all visual, right? So what we want to look like, so what is that desired image that we are after, we need to see a visual representation as a sort of like a mood board, as
Mhm.
a just an idea of what direction I'm going to. And this is literally the first thing. Either I do it for my clients when I work with them one-on-one, or they actually build it themselves when they're inside my program. So, and this is like, I'm telling you, like it's solving a lot of problems, because they see pictures, images of outfits. Obviously, this is not an idea to copy them, but to see if this is who I am, if this is who I want to, what do I want to wear? Do I see myself wearing this? But if we just talk about it, it's going to be very difficult, because we don't have that connection between the idea of what it is to actual um, representation visually. If that makes
Okay.
sense. So that
Okay.
you have to have that. Now, obviously, you don't want to go and like start copying. Like, I'm going to buy exact the same shirt, buy the same. But this is just an idea. Whether you florals, patterns, colors, silhouettes, overall ideas of putting colors and styling it together. Just overall having that representation. It's just so much easier to have that. Just that vision of what did it look like.
Okay. All right. So we start with a vision of maybe what we're drawn to, what we like,
Mm-hmm.
what we have in our head that we sort of want to put onto a page to say, this is kind of where I think I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I imagine it's very helpful to work with a professional at this point, because now we've created the vision, but we need somebody to guide us through,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you're seeing this, but let's make these changes because this is going to look better for your body type.
Yes.
Or,
Mm-hmm.
because I could say I love a lot of the stuff that I see, in a magazine or, in the window at a store. And then I go in and I put it on. I was like, yeah, but this is clearly not for me because I just put it on and now I look terrible, in my opinion.
Right.
So the next step, is there a way that a person does this on their own, or is this where it really makes sense to work with somebody professionally and to say, help me weed through everything to get to whatever this version of a goal looks like for me?
Well, you can totally do it, because I always say everything what we want to learn about style and fashion is available online. It's as simple as going to YouTube and Googling it. The problem is that how do we apply for ourselves? This is where a lot of women get stuck, because we are so individual. We have everyone is different. Everyone is going to look different things, even though you have that representation of that mood board with your desired image. How do I apply this for myself? If I need to shop for, I don't know, denim, where do I go? Which one should I select? Does it look good on me? How do I pair this with the rest of my clothes? What else should I buy based on what I have? So a lot of those things we can do it all along, because everything was said already about fashion and style, dressing for work, dressing for conferences, you name it, it's available. The problem is, how do I take this information and apply it for myself? And then if it's difficult, like I don't have time dealing with it, I want to have a shortcut. How do I do it so it's gonna last me more than the next 6 months? How do I build up the wardrobe later on? If I know how to do it for myself, specifically for my own body, for my own aesthetics, for my lifestyle, whenever I'm dressing for. And then that's where a lot of women have a lot of problems, because they don't know what to do with that information.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say guilty right here, right? Like you have all this information, but then it either becomes overwhelming. And okay, again, I'm just going to talk about me. I'm a single mom. I have 2 children. I work a crazy job. I have my coaching that I do as well. I have a house and a yard and a life and all these things that I'm like, oh my gosh, shopping, one more thing. And so I oftentimes find myself in the emergency situation of I have to go out and buy like a specific something because I have a specific problem. And so then when I go into my closet, I have some things that I like, I do. I'm like you, I like my button-up shirts. But I wouldn't say that there's any thoughtfulness around anything. When you look at my closet, I imagine I could have taken a much more thoughtful approach to say, oh, this top goes with these 3 different types of, and I can make X number of outfits. I don't have that happening in my closet. I just have like some stuff. And I'm like, well, that shirt worked at that one time when I had to go to that one meeting and I needed something quickly. So walk me through, like, how does someone become more thoughtful about not panic shopping where you're just buying random stuff?
Yes. What you said is really interesting, because as many closets I found, there are so many things in your closet. I can guarantee you we can put million outfits together, because a lot of time we think I have this blouse that only goes with this pants, and we don't know if it's going to go with 3 other pants that we have, of 3 other skirts, and how to make it work. So I think this is a big gap. Like, what do I do with my wardrobe to make it work? But what else you said, that the question is, the panic shop comes from not having really a wardrobe that's really connected or reflects our lifestyle. Simple as that. So what I like to, when I work with my clients, what we like to do, that's why we always start with that vision. What does it look like for me? If you have that vision specifically, you see it on a screen, you have a mood board, you know which silhouettes look good on you. Then you look at your closet, but then you don't just edit and throw everything and start over. We have to really understand where are the gaps. So what is happening in your closet in order for you to not to go shopping panic when you have to dress for something. So idea is to look at what you do every day. So you go on Zoom, you are with your kids, you're meeting with clients, I don't know what else, going to the office, whatever that looks like specifically for you from day to day. And then that goes from like, from this, I'm going to school for my daughter, a performance. She's doing some kind of multicultural performance. So I'm just literally just throwing a jacket on and I'm just going to go. So that's why when we dress, we need to kind of think about what we are doing within the lifestyle. And then when you look at your closet, you just filling the blanks. What is missing? It can be statement pieces. You have a lot of basics, but there's no statement pieces. There's no like really great blazer. There's not really like maybe a printed skirt, maybe a really couple great dresses, or I'm missing really good denim. I have a lot of skinny jeans. I have no good denim. Let's say Friday night, I'm doing this and this, and I'm going for dinner. I'm missing that part of. And then when you're filling those blanks, you build a wardrobe that works for what you are doing from day to day. That's no capsule wardrobes, none of that crap, because that's just absolute great. And another thing we can talk about. But
Yeah,
But
I know. I'm
you have
interested.
to build your wardrobe for what you need, for your needs, for your lifestyle. And that's where the problem is. So when you have your vision, you know what silhouettes work for you, you know what's missing from your wardrobe, you can specifically buy those pieces, add them to your wardrobe, and then have a wardrobe. And then obviously has a strategy or what goes with what, this with this, this with this. Oh, I can wear it with this. Um, and then you can dress within 5 minutes. And then if you need something specifically, because obviously sometimes there are going to be situations where you got invited to speak on stage, and then yeah, it happens for the first time, second time. I don't have anything planned for it, like not the last moment. Even have a vision board for it. I build a vision board for like all my photo shoots, like my branding photo shoots. I have like huge vision board for everything. Everything is planned, and then vision boards for like my clients for their like for their conferences looks, for the stage. Like that's what we do, strategizing. I have this blazer with those pants. What we're missing? We're missing that little piece that goes under the blazer, and we shop specifically for that one piece. That's it.
I'm just I'm just laughing because it's like strategize, plan for it. And I'm like, no, I'm winging it. I'm panicking. I'm crying. I'm just looking
Yes.
at I'm gonna make a confession. I need to get new branding head like shots. I need new branding
Okay.
photos. I am specifically putting this off because I know I don't have outfits.
Mm-hmm.
So and every time I start to do it, I'm like, but I'm gonna have to find outfits.
You
Ugh.
do?
Uh, yeah, and so I just don't get new photo so I don't even know what the question is other than that's just so stupid to say out loud that like not having the right thing to wear is 100% holding me back from going and doing something that I know I both need to and want to do. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just completely overwhelming.
It is. I mean, I can imagine, because this is what I hear from my clients. So you're walking into Nordstrom and you don't even know where to start because
Right.
it's so much. But
Right.
it's all the problem is because you don't have your vision for what it looks
Mm.
like. You don't know specifically what you're looking for, what you are, what you want to shop for. Like if you want to, schedule that branding photo shoot, the first thing what I do, I'm so excited. I'm going to do one in July. I cannot wait to build my mood board. I already have an idea what I want to wear. And it's all this. Oh,
Must be
it's just the
nice. Must be
best thing
nice.
ever. But you need to have a vision. That's where the problem is.
Yeah.
If you don't know how does it going to look like, you need to start pulling all those pictures from other entrepreneurs to see what works, what doesn't work, have the location, and what colors you want to wear. If you have branding colors, I always say never wear branding colors unless you do your branding photo shoot. Then you can wear one outfit in your branding colors if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And then but you have to plan more from how when I look like, have that vision, pictures representing that idea that I have, including your location, posing, all those different things, obviously clothing. Then you have to think you're going to stand in those clothes, you're going to sit, because it's not going to look good when you sit in certain clothes. When you stand in certain clothes, it's going to look better. Yeah. Um, and then just go from there. So
Well, I feel like as we're journeying through this conversation, what I'm arriving at is that I probably just need to hire you to come help me do this. Because I'm like, oh, those are good points, but also like I'm also feeling like oh, just like wow, this is a lot to be good at. And I think I never want to sound salesy on something, but it's the same reason that I tell people working with me, if you're going through your job search or you're trying to get
mhm,
promoted in a career, if this is stuff that you don't do day in and day out and you're not well practiced at, it is a huge mental load and effort to
yes.
try to figure it out. And it is with the
Mhm,
internet, with, AI and like chat GPT and all. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff DIY.
mhm. That's
However,
true.
what you
Mhm.
don't have is the years of experience, the simplicity that somebody offers, where they're like, no, I've done this so many times, like this isn't even a decision for me, it's not hard. Whereas,
Mhm.
for you, Basha, but for me, it's like that could feel like a week's worth of time, and do I really have a week's worth of time to spend panicking over, did I even get the vision board right? And
Mhm.
so just I guess, I hope others are taking away from this the value that, okay, I'm going to go into mom mode and woman mode for a minute here.
Okay.
As a mom, I'm last, right?
Mhm.
I am so happy to pay hundreds of dollars for my kids to go do whatever thing that they need to make their life better and happier. For
Mhm.
myself, I'm oftentimes like, well, I could probably do that myself, or I'll just wait on that. Or
Right.
so do you find you encounter a lot of women who, like, in working with someone like you, doing something like that is like almost like a kind gesture to yourself of
Mm.
saying, I'm going to do something nice for me and I'm going to invest in me. And I'm just curious, like, do you encounter a lot of women who it took them some time to get to this place where they were ready to focus on how they show up and look?
You know, most of the time when I work with women is when they are on their breaking point, when it's
Mm.
always almost comes from that panic. And a lot of times it's they just got promoted, they just switched the jobs, they are going into their business, go to the next level. And now, and I'm like, I'm losing my mind because I need to shop, I have that conference, I'm running this team, I'm being going to be on stage, I'm looking like an intern, and I'm already a director at the big corporations. I am I have a presentation. What do I? That's where they get to the point. Usually, when something really drastically change, maybe not always drastically, but it changes, and that's where they kind of realize this is the sort of skills that I don't have. I have all the skills in the world when it comes to my job. I'm so good at my job. I can do it with eyes closed. But when it comes to how do I want to show up, I have no idea. And I need to show up because um, my job or my career changed. This is usually what happens. It's
Okay.
not always from like, oh, I'm gonna do it for myself, because usually they not gonna do it. They're gonna do it because they don't have a choice.
Okay.
They're gonna be on stage in the next 2 months,
Okay.
3 times. And then I need to look like I belong on that stage. I don't want to look like I'm here by accident. And
Yeah.
when I'm on the stage, I want people to listen to me. I want people to come after, and we can talk, starting new relationships, network, all those different things. And then because I work with a lot of women who are very ambitious and their career is very important to them. And then how they show up is extremely important. And then throughout, having kids, growing in going up in your career, at some point you kind of like, okay, I'm a mom, but my wardrobe is still from sometimes college
Yeah.
years. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. My body
Yeah.
changed. What should I? And this is the it's for me. I went through this too. We are in this sort of like this, mid 30s, mid 40s. Some women do it earlier, some do it later, but we are in this sort of like age where even fashion is, the resources is like either those teenage years, you go to Zara and you're like, what the hell is going on? And suddenly you go to like St. John and suddenly like, I'm not 60 years old. Why should I be dressing in this type of stuff? We have to
Right.
stay in this in how does it look like for me? So this is most of the time when I hear like those they need help.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, spot on. Like you were just talking to me in that, because you're right. It's in your 20s, it's very easy to know all the,
Hmm.
more trendy places wherever everybody's shopping.
Yeah.
And it's, if you've had children, like it's pre-children, your body hasn't changed yet.
Hmm.
Now you get into that like middle part of your life.
Yes.
And my sisters and I, we all talk about this. We're like, where do people shop now? Like, where do
Yeah.
you go to shop? Because
Hmm. Big
And then it
problem.
does. And then it
Yes.
feels like you have to go and pick out bits and pieces of this and that at different stores. But
Yes.
if you don't know what you're looking
There
for in
is
the first
no,
place,
that's the problem. There's no one store to go and shop. And then, and now another problem that happened, and thanks to Zara, who started the whole, um, the trends and changing collection every week. We are used to seeing, blazers for $100, but
mhm,
when you really want a nice blazer, you're gonna have to drop $300-400. And then a lot of
right.
time women are, because we are used to having all those low end prices, there are tons of brands for us who are available online. Those resources are not available to a lot of women because we don't know about them. So when they come into me and I'm like, you're gonna shop here, you're gonna shop here, you're gonna shop here. This is your brand, this is your brand, and they've never heard of them. But those are gonna be more like a mid price range brands, and they are not available in major malls. They are mostly online. If they have boutiques, they might be in Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom, in more like the metropolitan areas. And
Mhm,
so I like when I work with women who live more in suburban or some areas where we don't have access to the actual boutiques and stores. It's all online. So everything is being shipped, but you don't have those resources available. All you see is like the black and white market, and you think that that's like a most amazing thing ever. I would like, no, that's like, we don't even go there. Like Banana Republic is not on our list to shop at.
Okay, if we're taking a quote from this, it's Banana Republic is not on our list.
No.
I love it. Um, but you're right, because again, it is, you touched on something. You said, there are a lot of, fast fashion or whatever we want to call it, trendy stores where it's like you can get a blazer for $90, or, you can, for
Mhm.
us panic shoppers, you can run into one of those stores. You can find something where you can make an impulsive decision. Not that $100 is not a lot of money, but I do feel like it doesn't get you much in clothing nowadays.
Uh-huh.
Um, but like this whole idea of investing in something that's going
Mhm.
to be higher quality, it's going to stand more of a test of time, it's going to be with you, it's more classic, if you will,
Mhm.
versus, again, you're spending $80 here and $40 here and $100 here. Like that all adds up. But I do think, again, as a mom, I'll say, you look at that and you're like, ooh, am I really going to go spend $500 on that? Or like,
Right.
I love the website Evereve, but I go on that website and I look and I'm like, okay, well, that's, $250 and that's $500. I'm like, oh my God, that's like one outfit. How am I going to do this?
Mhm.
And so then I don't.
Yeah.
And again, I don't even know what the question is there, but how do you help? Maybe the question is how do you help women like get through that blocker of seeing that, like buying one X dollar amount
Mhm.
item is actually much better than buying six of the $50 items that you're
Well,
more trained to do.
the sad part is that not always all the $250 are worth the $250. And we have to always look at, especially when you're scrolling on Instagram, how many times did you buy something on Instagram thinking it's so amazing and it's like complete crap, comes from China? So knowing the resources, number one, knowing which stores, where to go and shop,
Mhm.
knowing what to look for when you shop. So the fabric type, the the function of that piece, what is it made of, where I'm going to wear it, if I want, how do I want this piece. Let's say you want to wear a dress for a stage, you don't want this to wrinkle, so you don't want to buy,
Mhm.
let's say, silk dress. You want to look into more like artificial, or polyester would be really good. I would never say that, but that's true, because I guess you need to have a function. So a lot of those different things needs to come into place. But again, remember, we're not shopping with filling the blanks in your closet. So we just
Mm.
adding pieces strategically so you can make outfits with what you have already. So I'm
Okay.
looking at this shirt, I'm already seeing you totally. in those perfect high-waisted straight jeans with like a boot, black belt. You can throw in more like a, depending on your body shape, we didn't discuss yet, but
Yeah, I didn't, because I didn't stand on the
because
chair.
it's okay. And like a casual blazer.
Yeah.
Depending if you like smaller chest, it's going to be double breasted. And then this is like an outfit, like more like business casual, but you can go to dinner later, take off the blazer and take off the boots. The denim can go with a t-shirt and some kind of cardigan. Again, we adding pieces that's going to last you a long time, and then most importantly, taking care of those pieces. So, dry cleaning, making sure that we store them correctly, all those different things. But I'm telling you, like I have pieces from 10, 15 years ago that I still wear. Is it every day I wear? No. But those are the pieces that, I'm just hoping not to gain weight so I can still fit in them. But other than that,
I feel like we're being very honest on this live, aren't we?
I'm like, I need to fit in that black blazer because I'm like, ooh, that's the only thing I have. It's so nice, and I have it for like 15 years now.
Yeah.
And it's like perfect.
We have a question. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I don't know how much of the, there we go. It's going to take over.
I
We
was
have,
waiting for that one.
yeah. I mean, inquiring minds want to know, right? Like,
Mhm.
what are some stores that people might be looking at?
Okay. My favorite store of all time. And I literally probably suggest to all my clients, regardless, it's called Cezanne, Sezane. Yeah, Cezanne. It's a French brand. Um, they have some boutiques in North America. They deliver from Paris for free, under $800. You don't want to do it. Otherwise, you pay some kind of taxes and something like that. It's a free return. And their pieces never go on sale because they are priced perfectly. And you're going to find a lot of things, from simpler, beautiful blouses to cardigans to nice knits to pants. There are more boho romantic pieces, so that's the one store. I love Everlane from all simpler stuff. There's more expensive pieces like Veronica Beard, which I absolutely love. Their blazers are going to be really expensive. If you love that brand, then I would go to the Real, which is the secondhand store, but we only carry high-end brands. So this is what I tell my clients: go to Veronica Beard, try on a blazer, see if you like it. They make the same blazer in different colors, pretty much the same cut every season. It's like their staple piece. And go on a Real and look for like pristine or like gently used. And you're going to get the same blazer that's worth $700 for a couple hundreds. And literally, like, you have amazing piece. L'Agence, that's another one. I love L'Agence. ALC, another one. Page for denim. Page is absolute like number one for denim.
What makes them number one?
Because we are extremely inclusive, but then their denim is perfect for pretty much everyone. So if I have to recommend denim, it's going to be for petite, for tall, for plus size, for like any type of body you want. They have it in different colors, different cuts, short, long, you name it, they have it. And we're going to run a little bit more. We're going to run around $200, $250. Sometimes they have sales on like Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom. You can look for them. But the fit is amazing. Like, I just had a client shopping in San Francisco. She was texting me from Page Denim, like just the pictures. Mm-hmm. It's like anything she puts it on, it was perfect. So the fit is really, really good. I'm really bad with the names. I will have to pull out them. But those are like probably the top one.
Okay.
From what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I think that's a great starter list. I mean, I know you just listed some stuff off where I'm going to go back and re-listen to this and be like, oh, I haven't heard of all of those. So I need to go look and
Mhm.
see, like the blazer. I'm a blazer person. I love blazers. I think
Mhm.
I look good in blazers. I feel confident in the blazer. I think you can kind of casual up a blazer, or you can,
Mhm.
you can dress it up and look really polished. And so for me, that feels like something where I would want to have a high quality blazer. I want something that fits me really well, that
Mhm.
elevates me rather than I'm sort of carrying the blazer.
Mhm. Exactly. Blazers are, yeah. A frame. That's another brand.
What
Frame.
is it? Frame?
Frame. Hmm.
Okay.
I love
Okay.
their blouses. Like I buy frame blouses all the time. They have perfect silk blouses,
Okay.
just
Okay.
perfect.
So now I'm gonna
And
have to go shopping after this.
yeah.
So let's talk a little bit next about well, one other person here. It says LinkedIn user, so I'm not sure who made the comment, but it said their investment pieces have been merino wool and cashmere for winter,
Yes.
and calling that out.
Oh, Nadam. That's another one.
Hmm.
Yes, Nadam.
Okay.
It's and they only make cashmere
Okay.
sweaters and all different things.
Okay.
Quince is another one. This is more like a lower end.
Mhm.
Um, eh, and so they use factories from like other big brands, and so it's sort of like the prices are lower because we don't use a lot of marketing and things like that, so we cut a lot of like um, middle peoples to lower their prices. So that's another
Mm.
one. A lot of my clients like it. So
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about this next, because I think there's some connection here. Is again going into now talking about job search, or even showing up on something like
Mhm.
this. A lot of times somebody has to go to an interview, and our interviews are on a virtual format like this.
Mhm.
What are some considerations that a person should make when they're dressing for their interview to show up on Zoom or something similar?
I think the number one, what is the environment? So a lot of my clients, say like technology is so much more casual.
Mm-hmm.
More, I have a client who is in a financial industry, and then she's so much more like she needs to have like there's a dress code, and I let a lot of suits, and then she needs to invest into more like colors just to break from that gray and black ones. So I think that's the number one. Number two, on camera, especially on Zoom, um, we see everything from the waist up. So this is where a lot of things is going to be happening, right? So and then also like when it comes to colors, though, I would say no black. I would say more of a neutral color is the best. So any beiges, taupes, navies, charcoal, all those different colors going to work. Either you want to do just a nice blouse, or even a blazer. Although blazer on camera always look kind of like you kind of like look bigger. I don't know
Mm.
what it is on that. It's just I like just a simpler blazer, and that's probably what I would do. I would say no prints. So like something like this for if I go for a job at Nordstrom, perfect. But if I go job in a financial, I would say no. So obviously something is going to be more modest. I always say less is more. And then I would
Okay.
say probably no black. Black is a little bit too, I would say navy is better.
Yeah, I
And
was
then
going to ask you about the no black, if we can talk about that, because I
for
feel
job
like
interview, I feel
so
like.
many of us we're like, oh, black is my professional, it's black, right? So what is it about black versus navy?
For
What?
job interview, I feel navy
Yeah,
is more appropriate
yeah.
because
Is
black is a
it
little bit more like a serious, navy is a little bit more professional than black to
okay?
me for job
Okay.
interview.
Okay. We have another question. So another person asked, I think we're going back to stores. I think the question is routing back to shopping at the stores. It says for someone in their 50s, but looks like they're in their 40s.
There is no such a thing as stores for 50s as opposed to be 30 years old. I have clients literally who are like 25, and then the ones who are like 55, and I send them to the same boutiques. to the same
Okay.
store, because they're going to carry different pieces. And obviously for one person, something's going to work differently for the other. But overall, like, you can wear the same blouse from Cezanne as 25-year-old and as a 55-year-old, because that's going to be classic, is going to be modern. So like, I would never send someone who is like, let's say 65, oh, you belong in that sad little corner in Nordstrom that no one goes to, but it's for that women over 65. I'm like, what the hell is going on, Nordstrom? Like,
I
no
know
one
what you're
wants to
talking
go
about.
there.
Yeah.
It's like
You're
that's
right.
that
It's
corner.
that old lady
It's the
section.
old
Yeah.
lady. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you're 50. It's literally what Erin would wear, which is like just obviously on a style, whatever your preference is. But that shirt that you're wearing with the straight darker denim with a belt and a blazer, perfect, because
Yeah.
it's classic. It's not overdone. It's not too casual. It's something that's gonna last in your closet. It's always gonna be, it's always going to be in fashion. Um, and so that all depends on like your preferences, but there's not such a thing like, I would say, brands for, I'm 50, I cannot shop at certain brands. So I mean, obviously would never go to like Zara, Forever 21, all that stuff, but that's not the point.
They
But
lie. We're not Forever 21, are
no,
we?
but brands that I
That's a good thing.
mentioned, those are from like literally professional, well-made, beautiful stuff
Yeah.
from like 25 until you're 150.
So would it be safe to say that your advice is that we shouldn't be shopping at Zara and Forever 21, or is there a time and a place to do that too?
Oh, there is. I think there is. It it really depends on what we're looking for. So, and then obviously what we can find. We have when you shop at Zara, it's very tricky because a lot of things is going to be made from really cheap fabric. That's number one. That's why it doesn't last. That's why it shrinks. That's why buttons, fall. The color does not going to stay. So obviously, when you shop in Zara, any type of basics shirt like you're wearing, something like this, that's totally fine. This is more casual.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you $60. There's no reason to spend or something like this, $200. You want to spend money where you get those statement pieces. When you go for a nice blazer, it's going to fit you, like you're going to feel like $1 million. But if you put shirt from, I don't know, even cotton shirt from Zara, from underneath, that's totally fine. I think there has to be always a balance. And if you don't want to go to Zara, you go to Everlane, it's way better. And you get the same prices pretty much. So
Yeah. All right. So I don't know how we've almost been talking for an hour already, but I want to make sure I get to the questions that I always like to ask. And one is you touched on it. You're a mom as well. I'm a mom. You're a mom. You mentioned to me that right after we hang up here, you are now running to the next thing. You're changing your hat and you're going to go to school and watch your daughter in a multicultural presentation. And so talk to me a little bit about, as a professional woman, as a mom, as someone with a successful career, how have you learned to, I don't want to say balance, because I don't think we ever balance it entirely, but how do you manage being great in these different areas of your life?
I don't know, call myself great. I mean,
Pretty darn good. How about that?
I'm not sure about that. I mean, I failed so many times and I work on a weekend sometimes, but for me, I think it's the most important, like I plan everything. I know what is happening with my daughter. I'm the one, my husband is working on movies, so he's completely like, he doesn't never know what time he's starting or finishing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really like planning everything, understanding what is happening, but also delegating what I'm the one responsible for, what my husband does. And for me, it's all the birthday parties, it's all the meetings at school, it's all the play dates. That's usually what I do. And my husband does all the soccer games, all the movies. I cannot stand going to movies for some reason. They always do this. So I think it's just like what they enjoy doing together and what I am enjoying doing together with Anya. Everything from baking on Saturday to going to my little Polish store that she picks her favorite candies. And so we have our things that we like to do, and I don't know how I balance this. It's just, I think I just do it and just kind of, comes together. I don't think I have like a plan or anything like that.
So there's a trick reason that I always ask this, because you are somebody who comes across very polished. You have a successful business. You're here. You've given us great advice, and you've accomplished a lot in your career. And I think a lot of times the women who I work with have this idea that others have it figured out, and they just don't. And realistically, the truth is we're all making it up, right? Like we are all, I mean, we jumped on the line here a few minutes before we were supposed to start. And I mean, both of us were like, oh, we just got in here and we're, okay, let's figure out what we're doing. And we had to get organized, and we were trying to figure out how to update our names and all kinds of stuff. But it's like, I think the just doing it and the, figuring it out as you go, like those are really the true ways that people make things happen. And especially, again, I know not everybody has children, but I think when you are in that phase of you're dealing with career and children and life, there isn't like this secret plan that you just haven't figured out yet.
No. So like for me, you know what it is? Like those small little things. Today, like it's Friday, my husband's working late, and I will I'm gonna order our favorite soup dumplings. And this is the one thing that I know my child, Anya, is just gonna be so ecstatic. Like that's one small little thing is gonna make her happy. But I'm really doing it for myself because I don't want to cook. So so I'm basically mixing those two things together, make her happy and make myself happy, so I don't have to clean and then do the dishes and things like that. So
and that is winning in motherhood, is when your kid thinks you're doing something fun for them, but really it's because you don't want to cook.
It's just you're doing it for yourself, basically.
All right, last question.
Not your favorite restaurant, but yes.
Yeah. Last question I have for you. I ask this of every guest, and it's about a piece of good advice, whether it's good advice that you like to give, it's a piece of advice that you've received at some point in your life. But I always like to leave our guests with a piece of advice that might resonate with them.
I'm gonna go back to what I do the best. Not everyone. I'm gonna give you two pieces of advice. Okay. Not everyone will like what you wear. Period. End of story. It's impossible. It's very subjective. It's never your body. It's always the wrong clothes. You're perfect. You're picking the wrong clothes for your body. It's you are perfect. The clothing is always at fault. If you think it out, and then don't try to dress for somebody to like it. It's impossible. There can be 100 people here and half of them might hate my shirt. Does it gonna make me not wear it? No. But everyone, because it's such a strong, subjective niche, I would say. We always have a lot of things to say about what we wear and somebody else wear. We're gonna be always judging other people. So don't dress for somebody, dress for yourself, for what you feel the most, because not everyone will love what you wear. Simple.
And I have to tell you, I got goosebumps. I'm not gonna lie. I got goosebumps when you were like, it's the clothes. It's not you, right? Like you're not the problem.
Nope.
And I do think, I mean, I can say I've stood in many a fitting room being like, well, if I wasn't like this, or since I had kids and my body changed and looked like this, now I just don't look good in anything, or this looks lumpy, or whatever it is. And I guess all the more reason to say, taking good care of yourself when it comes to how you dress, where you shop, having a plan. That's the takeaway I've had from this conversation with
Oh,
you.
that's
Like if
good.
I were to count this as Erin Lewber's own personal fashion therapy session, which kind of is what this has been, it really does feel like investing in you, and it's not that it's impossible. It's just you might need a little help getting there. And I think that that is a really wonderful thing that you're bringing to women through your services. So let's finish off here. I know we have your website under your name here, so dressforimpact.com. But tell me a little bit, like tell everyone where they can find you, if there are any resources that you would recommend that you offer to
So
them.
in Dress for Impact, you can get a free guide, and I take you through all different aesthetics and styles on how to incorporate different colors, patterns, and textures into your work outfits, so you don't rely on the same boring black suits, because what everybody says that's professional, it's not. I'm literally showing you, there's like 150 no, maybe it's not 150, it's over 100 pages of exactly how to do it, mixing, matching, all those different things. You can find me on LinkedIn, find me on Instagram, and find me on YouTube. I'm back on YouTube. I'm so excited.
So Basia taught me about YouTube. She was so kind and got online, and we just had like an impromptu call one day. She's like, I can talk to you right now. And so we got on and she walked me all through her YouTube and how she does research and all this stuff. But yes, like go find her videos on YouTube. You have a wealth of information available to people through YouTube and a lot of the videos that you've created over time. And I don't know, is there anything else you want to share before we wrap
No,
for today? This was a good
no.
lunch break. This was a coffee break for me. I'm having my
Oh,
coffee late
I
today.
do too. It's called,
Yeah,
because
I
to
know.
me
I
it's a
hate cold
breakfast, but
coffee.
yes.
Yeah, and I hate cold coffee, but I've been drinking it through this whole
It's fine.
conversation. So
No, I don't know what else to say. I don't know. You're perfect. I don't
then,
know what else to say. You're just
yeah,
perfect. Yeah.
I'm going to take that as you saying that directly to me. So thank
Yes,
you.
you are.
All right, Baja, thank you so much.
Of
I'm going to go ahead and
course.
end this stream now. And
Okay.
what a wonderful lunch break this was today.
Well, thank you for having me.